this is Al Sparks.
Don't hang up, Mike.
Mike, I'm in a little jam.
Al, you're never in a little jam.
Mike, I gotta talk to you.
Yeah. Bye, Al.
No, Mike, please, Mike.
All right. I didn't have to listen, but I did. I don't know why. I'd known Al Sparks a long time, but I only heard from him when he was in trouble, like now. He didn't tell me what the beef was this time. He just pleaded with me to come down to see him. He was holed up in a Bowery flea bag, and if he was seen out on the street, he was done for. I told him I'd come. It was easier than arguing.
Thanks for coming, Mike.
Yeah, boy, you really are hiding out this time, aren't you? Whee! Even a bedbug wouldn't look for you here.
Hey, you're looking real good, Mike. Real good. Like maybe you put on a little weight.
All right. Cut the social talk. Now, what did you want? What's the trouble this time?
It's bad this time, Mike.
Yeah, how bad?
You know Doc Crowder?
Doc Crowder?
You know.
Oh, yeah, he's cured me of a lot of hard cash with that floating crab game of his.
Yeah. Well, I had a little session with those dice of his about a week ago, and I think I got in a little deep this time.
How deep?
Pretty deep.
Huh?
Pretty deep.
So how much?
Almost $5,000.
Deep? You drowned.
Thing is, he only gave me till yesterday to pay him back. He said if I don't have at least half the money by then, he'll send a couple of his boys around to fix my little wagon.
Yeah, well, knowing Doc Crowder, he meant that.
I know he meant it. What do you think I'm holed up here for? Yesterday on the way home, there were a couple of his goons already waiting for me in front of the house. Lucky thing I saw them first, or they'd have stomped on me like I was a doormat on a snowy day.
So what do you think? You want to put a touch on me?
Oh, no, Mike. No, I don't want to make no touch.
So what do you want of me, then?
I want you should go see Doc Crowder.
See Doc Crowder?
Talk to him. Tell him to get off my back. Give me a little time, and I'll square myself with him. I'll pay him back every dime I owe him. I'll do anything. I'll even go to work.
Oh, no.
I'll get a steady job. I'll pay him back a little something every week.
Hey, you really are desperate, aren't you?
Yeah, so you'll do it for me, huh, Mike?
No.
Well, you can't walk out on me, Mike.
Oh, yeah, just watch me.
No, Mike, you're not going to let
Last
Doc
time
Crowder.
you got into trouble, I told you that was it, that I'd had it.
But you're going to let Doc
You're
Crowder...
going to have to learn a lesson there, Al, boy.
But, Mike...
And apparently, the only way you're going to learn's the hard way.
But...
Bye, Al.
But, Mike...
Two weeks went by. I heard rumors that Al Sparks had lammed out of town. All I knew for sure was that Doc Crowder and his sluggers hadn't caught up with him. And then I saw something that made me wonder if it wouldn't have been better for him if they had. It was a wire service story from a small New England town called Forge River. Al had been arrested for robbing and killing a woman named Janet Price, the proprietor of a lunchroom in Forge River. The news was like a kick in the stomach. My first thought was that this had happened because I'd refused to help Al. My second thought was that there was some mistake. I knew Al Sparks. He was a lot of things, and most of them weren't very good, but he wasn't a killer. My third thought was that, true or not, I had to get to Forge River fast. After checking the airlines and the railroads, I found the fastest way to get to Forge River was to drive. 10 hours after leaving New York, I was in the Forge River Sheriff's office. The sheriff's name was Jenkins. He was about as hospitable as an Arctic winter, and getting any information from him was like pulling rusty nails from a 2x4. But I finally learned that Janet Price had been shot and killed when she surprised a robber in her lunchroom when she returned to it unexpectedly after closing up for the night. The thief had shot and killed Janet and made off with $2,500. So how'd you happen to have that much dough on hand?
How do I know? Maybe she was hoarding it. What difference does it make?
Well, what made you suspect Al Sparks?
I didn't at first. I just went to the hotel room to talk to him. Because I knew he'd been working for Janet Price for over a week and a half. He was packing to leave town.
And you found $2,500 on him.
That's right. I also found this revolver under the mattress of the bed. I had a ballistic test run on it. It's the gun that killed Janet, all right?
Mm-hmm. Can I talk to Al Sparks now?
Look, Hammer, I appreciate you wanting to help a friend, but there's nothing you can do for Sparks. We got him cold.
Maybe a little too cold.
What do you mean by that?
Well, if you don't know, I can't tell you. Now can I talk to Al Sparks?
Second cell on the right.
Thanks loads.
I don't know how the gun got in my room. I swear I never saw it before.
What about the $2,500, sir?
Janet gave it to me.
Gave it to you.
Gave it, loaned it. What's the difference? Look, I knew Janet from New York. 5, maybe 6 years ago, she came there from this boy trying to break into show business. She beat her head against the wall for a couple of years, and then she came back here. So, when I decided to become a Lamister, naturally, I thought of her first. I knew she had this little lunchroom she got from her mother when the old lady died.
So you figured she could raise some dough for you?
Well, at least enough to get Doc Crowder calmed down a little bit. Janet and me was good friends.
Just good friends, Al.
That's all. She's a sweet kid, a real eyeful, but Mike. Oh, she was more like a kid sister than anything else.
Yeah, all right, big brother. Why did she wait 2 weeks before she gave you the money?
She didn't have that kind of dough herself. She had to raise it for me.
Raise it from where?
She set off a guy named Stryker.
Stryker? Who's Stryker?
Todd Stryker. His wife owns the Forge River Lumber Company, but he runs it for her, and that makes him Mr. Big in this town.
Anybody ask the Stryker if he gave Janet $2,500? Yeah, and what'd he say?
Stryker says he didn't. But he's lying, Mike.
Oh, you are. Now, listen to me, Al. I got a hunch I'm not going to be very popular in this town if I help you out. Now, that's all right with me, see, if I know they can't pull the rug out from under me. But if I put my head on the block and I find out that you're lying...
No, Mike. Mike, I'm scared. Too scared to lie. I wouldn't lie to you. You gotta believe me, Mike. Somebody's gotta believe me.
Sparks was right. Somebody had to believe him. He was being framed with all the tender, loving care of a newly discovered Van Gogh. A guy on the spot he was on needs somebody, anybody, and it looked like I was it. Hello there.
You must be that killer's friend from New York. Mike Hammer, the sheriff said your name was? My name's Stryker. Oh, you got a ticket. Well, can't you read?
Yeah, this wasn't here when I parked.
I know. I had one of the sheriff's deputies put it there while you were in talking to your killer friend.
Well, you went to a lot of trouble.
No trouble.
Now, what's it supposed to prove? That you're the big frog in this mud puddle?
You get the idea.
Well, why all the adolescent kid stuff? Oh, I see. Oh, are you trying to tell me that I should get out of town?
If I have to make it any plainer, Mr. Hammer, I will. And I'll make it stick.
What are you afraid of? That I'll find out why you lied about the $2,500 you gave Janet Price the sheriff found on Al Sparks?
I'm not afraid of anything, Mr. Hammer. And I didn't lie about anything. And I'm not going to have you or anybody else come into this town and try to make it appear that I did. You hear?
Uh-huh. Yeah. Now you hear this. Al Sparks is being railroaded for something he didn't do. Now, I'm going to find out why if I have to take this whole town apart, piece by piece, and stack it on your front porch. And as for this, good luck.
Just a minute.
Get your hands off me.
Come on, cut it out.
You two, take it easy. What? You need me? I'll be in the hotel. I'll see you around. I checked into the hotel and went back to prowl the town. My first stop was the lunchroom Janet Price had operated and in which she had been killed. The cafe had been sealed by order of Sheriff Jenkins. I had a strong hunch it wouldn't do me any good to ask him to let me look around inside. A frame-up is a very complicated piece of machinery. A lot of things can go wrong, little things that go unnoticed at the time, but they can blow up the whole game if they come to light. I wondered if I could find just one of them. I spent the rest of the afternoon asking questions. I started with the merchants who had stores on either side of the cafe and worked my way around the town square to the cashier at the motion picture house. No one had seen anything or heard anything the evening Janet Price had been killed. When I asked anything about Todd Stryker, I was made to feel about as welcome as a typhoid carrier. Stryker was one of the best liked or the most feared men I'd ever known. The only thing anybody was sure of was that Sheriff Jenkins had Janet Price's murderer locked up in the county jail. Need any help?
Oh, hi. Well, aren't you even a little curious about how I got in here?
Yeah, oh, I imagine you'll tell me if it's important.
Oh, it is. See, I live upstairs. And, my key fits your room. And your key fits my room. In fact, everybody's fits everybody's. Now, isn't that interesting?
Yeah, very.
I thought you'd think so. It explains, for example, how a gun could be put in somebody's room without their knowing anything about it.
Uh-huh.
Of course, it doesn't explain who put it there.
No, it doesn't, does it?
No. Oh, I'm Kate Carter.
Oh.
I'll tell you what. I'll call you Mike if you call me Kate.
Yeah, fair enough.
You know, Mike, actually, I haven't been in this town too long, but in my line of work, I get to know...
What is your line of work?
Oh. I'm, a waitress.
Oh.
Anyhow, as I was saying, I get to know people pretty well.
Yeah, especially men, huh?
Who else? Tell you, in 5 minutes, I could give you more information about Forge River than you could get out of those hayseeds in 50 years.
Yeah, like, for example, who planted the gun in Al Sparks' room?
You pays your money and you takes your choice.
How much money?
$2,000.
Dollars?
Mm-hmm.
Well, honey, that ain't hay.
No, and it's not buttons, it's money. And I'm going to need it to travel on if I talk to you.
Well, I don't carry that much dough with me.
Can you get it?
Well, yeah, maybe by noon tomorrow.
You have just made yourself a date, honey.
Listen, what you gotta sell better be worth the price.
Oh, it is. It is.
Yeah, well, I'd like a sample if you don't mind.
Oh, now, look, I can't give my samples away. Okay. Do you think Janet Price could get $2,500 out of Todd Stryker just because he liked her little old blue plate special? Noon tomorrow, Michael?
I made a call to New York, and by 10 o'clock the next morning, a money order for $2,000 had arrived at the Forge River Telegraph Office. I was going to see Kate Carter right away, but Sheriff Jenkins changed my plans. What's on your mind, Sheriff?
It's about Kate Carter.
What about her?
Well, maybe you can tell me. She's disappeared.
Disappeared?
Why don't we go across to the park and talk about it?
Kate Carter had been reported missing when she had failed to show up for a date the night before, and after it was discovered that her room at the hotel had not been occupied since the day before. She had been seen leaving my room at 6 the previous evening. No one had seen her since. I told Jenkins about my talk with Kate. I didn't expect him to take it seriously, and he didn't.
Kate Carter had no call to make that remark about Todd Stryker and Janet Price.
How do you know she didn't?
Well, Todd's married.
Most men who cheat on their wives are.
Nah, if there'd been anything between Todd and Janet Price, I'd have known about it.
Oh? Well, you and Todd must be pretty good friends then.
That's right. Todd helped me become elected sheriff of this county. And that's no secret around this town. I know Todd and I know Kate Carter. She'd do anything or say anything just as long as there was some money in it for her.
Yeah, well, we'll see. It's only 10:30 now. My date with her wasn't until noon. Maybe she'll show up after all.
You know, if Kate had something incriminating on Todd, if she saw somebody put a gun in Al Sparks' room, why didn't she tell me?
Oh, come on, Jenkins. Don't be naive. Everybody in this town knows that as long as Todd Stryker runs a Forge River lumber mill, he runs Forge River. He's got all of you right here. He can make or break anybody. That includes you.
Now, come on, that's not so. I try to do my job, Hammer.
Sure, you're doing a very good one, Sheriff. Very good. Especially for Todd Stryker.
Now, wait a minute.
Now, listen to me, Sheriff. If the truth hurts that much, you better do something about it before it eats you up inside. After leaving Jenkins, I went to the jail and asked Al Sparks if he knew anything about an affair between Stryker and Janet Price. He didn't. But what was even more interesting was the fact that during the 2 weeks Al had worked for Janet, Stryker hadn't stopped into the cafe for even so much as a cup of coffee. Maybe it meant something, maybe it didn't. It sounded to me like the behavior of two people with something to hide. But whatever it meant, I knew I couldn't tiptoe around the problem any longer. I had to go straight to the guy who had the answers, Todd Stryker. My first stop was my hotel room. I wanted to be properly dressed for a showdown with Stryker. It still wasn't noon, but I wasn't going to wait to see if Kate Carter showed up. But I wanted to hear from Stryker. I was going for broke. Yeah, hello.
Mike?
Well, Kate.
Mike, listen. Todd Stryker knows that I talked to you yesterday, that I'm seeing you again today. And he's been after me to keep me from seeing you.
Very thorough, isn't he?
Yes, he's having the hotel watched.
Where are you calling from?
A place called Old Camp. It's a logging town on Forge Lake. Fire season is on, so it's all closed down. There's nobody around. Oh, I'm calling from the company office. It's a two-story building on the edge of the lake.
Uh-huh. And, you want me to come out there, is that it?
Oh, yes. Mike, will you come?
Yeah, I'll come. I'm leaving right away.
What took you so long?
Well, I took a wrong turn.
Well, come on in. Mike, I had to do it. They grabbed me right after I left.
Get her out of here. Take her to Camp 3 and keep her there until I call.
But you said that you'd let me out of here after I got him out here.
I'll let you go when I'm ready. Get her out!
Well, for the $2,000, how much did you pay her?
Why, I didn't have to pay her a cent, Mr. Hammer.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I keep forgetting. You're the guy who runs things around here, aren't you?
Don't worry about it. I'll keep reminding you. Are you all right?
If you're gonna kill me, why don't you do it and get it over with?
Kill you? Well, I didn't say anything about killing you.
Oh, but you're gonna have to. For the same reason you had to kill Janet Price. Because no matter how important you are, there's one person more important.
Who?
Your wife. She owns the Forge River Lumber Company, every stick of it. And if you lose her, you lose everything.
I'm not going to lose her, Mr. Hammer.
Well, you would have lost her if you hadn't killed Janet Price. And you're gonna have to if you don't kill me.
What do you want, Mr. Hammer? What did you come to Forge River for?
Help a friend out of a jam.
Al Sparks, a stupid little tout, a tin-horn gambler? No. Man like you doesn't stick his neck out for a little creep like that.
He doesn't, eh?
What, guys like Sparks, I can buy and sell for a dime a dozen.
Maybe, if they're for sale. Sparks isn't.
All right. $5,000, Mr. Hammer. Go on, take it. Go back to New York and forget about Al Sparks.
You know, you really are a big man, Mr. Stryker. Yes, sir. You think big, you talk big, and you pay off big. How come you couldn't buy off Janet Price?
Get up.
Was it because she wanted more than money? Was it because she wanted you to divorce your wife so you could marry her?
On your feet. Now, I don't understand you, Mr. Hammer. Now, you can have that money. You can walk out that door, go back to New York, and that's that. Why do you want to end up on the bottom of that lake out there? Sparks? Nothing. Janet didn't mean anything to you. Forget him.
I got a troublesome memory, Stryker.
All right. You tabbed it right. All of it. But now I'm through talking, Mr. Hammer. And so are you.
You hurt?
Nah, it just nicked me.
Yeah, you had me worried for a minute there. I didn't know whether you were outside that window or not.
Yeah? You were taking a chance when you asked me in on this, Hammer.
Well, I'd take a chance on somebody, and a man with a badge is usually a pretty good bet.
Yeah, what if I double-crossed you? What if I wasn't standing outside that window, huh?
Well, then I guess we'd be standing up here looking down at me, wouldn't we, huh? The death of Todd Stryker didn't throw the town of Forge River into deep mourning. In fact, I thought I heard it give a small sigh of relief, but then, of course, maybe I was just imagining things. Sheriff Jenkins had picked up Mayo and Kate at Camp 3, and now I was ready to go back to New York. I stopped by the jail to pick up Al Sparks.
Oh, Hammer. I was just coming over to the hotel to see you.
Oh?
Sparks is gone.
Gone? Gone where?
He caught the 5:10 for Albany.
Albany? Why, the little sneak.
But he told me to give you a message.
Yeah, what'd he say? What'd he say?
He said he'd see you back in New York after you talked to his doctor.
Doctor?
Yeah. He said, tell Hammer I'll see him back in New York after he's fixed things with Doc Crowder.
Oh, good luck.
Oh, Hammer, he also said you'd make good the 20 I slipped him for pocket money.